You are feeling lost because life has pulled you into so many directions. You have done what society tells you to do, what your parents tell you to do, what family members, friends, relatives expect of you, and still none of it gave you the life fulfillment of which you seek. You're ready to make a step forward, but this time you want to ensure that you are heading in the right direction. Well, congratulations, you have already started your spiritual journey. And I know this because I was in this exact spot about 2 years ago. A spiritual journey is what helped me to find my way towards the things which makes me feel purposeful in life. The real question is if you are ready to make the most of your already existing spiritual journey. If the answer is yes, then continue to watch this video because by the end, you will have the only spiritual blueprint you need to head into the right path. By the way, I'm Abigail and this channel focuses on all around wellness, spiritual, physical, mental, emotional. So if you are interested in a space like this, then subscribe and welcome to the family. The first thing you need to do is to genuinely seek after God. And don't reject this thought before you hear what I have to say. The key is to forget everything the pastors, bishops, different denominations of Christianity and other religions have said about God. Wipe your mind of all the confusion and start with a clean slate. This will allow you to discover who or what God truly is. It doesn't matter who you are, what you believe in, or the things that you have done. God told us in Revelation 3 verse 20, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, then I will come into him and sup with him, and he with me." The day I started to take my spiritual journey seriously is when I finally started to ask God questions. We spend so much time asking everyone question about God except God himself. So this is the thing that I want you to focus on. Don't even focus on a specific name, because I strongly believe if you are genuinely seeking the right, God will reveal himself unto you. So the first thing I did was to spend some time asking questions. Everything that I'm confused about, I just started asking. And I started to talk to God instead of everyone else. I tried to understand the things of him. I tried to understand what I should be doing. My curiosity got the best of me and I let it. God wants you to ask questions and he will provide you that answer in whichever way he chooses. This led me into a position where God started to teach me directly, where I could read through his words, and for the first time I was able to understand what the passages were actually saying in the Bible. Because you have been so focused on what everyone else has to say, you did not realize that God has been knocking on your door this entire time, just waiting on you to let him in. Instead, you were busy running around in circles. I too was like that. God has been trying to get you to hear his voice and not the voice of everyone else. And he is eager to give you the guidance you need. Should you decide to seek God diligently, you would have already be 50% closer to getting over that feeling of being lost. This is the key you need to be successful in the other steps which I am about to share in this video. Just like many others, all my life, I've heard about God, tried to honor and worship him in the way in which I was taught. Nevertheless, I still wondered to myself if God was real from time to time. When I started to take my spiritual journey seriously by shutting out all the outside voices and truly sought after God, I could no longer deny that God exists and is very much omnipresent. The next step is to get to know God by spending time with him. You will not be able to understand what God is saying when he's trying to guide you towards your purpose if you don't know how he speaks or operates. Every now and again, find a space where there are not too many distractions, if it's even in your bathroom, and be as interested in spending time with God just as much as you will see the value in spending time with your husband or wife, your children, your parents, other family members, friends, business partners. It is almost impossible to build or improve any relationship without spending quality time together. And this is no different when it comes to building and maintaining a relationship with God. The books of the Bible, which helps me to understand how God operates, what He expects of me, what makes Him happy with me, what type of behavior creates a rift between us, and what generally makes God angry, are Genesis, Exodus, the 4 Gospels, along with a few others, and you can start there if you choose. After building and maintaining a strong relationship with God, you will find love, joy, peace, and hope like you've never had before. When I got to that stage of my spiritual journey, I felt a sense of freedom like I've never had before. And this made me easily see and accept the things that I am interested in, not what anybody else thinks that I should be interested in. So I no longer thought much about what anyone else thinks about me pursuing my ideas. When you get to this stage in your spiritual journey, your mind will be in a place where you can objectively choose what you want to do and go after it fearlessly. You won't fear failure because you know that God will be there to help you get back on your feet and go after the next thing as long as you continue to be His friend. And this level of fearlessness appears because of the level of friendship that you would have experienced with Him throughout your journey. When you realize how much God shows up even in the simplest of situations, you are more likely to go through the process and actually trust it. The trust you now have in God allows you to trust yourself, your capabilities, your competence, your creativity, and you'll be more driven to move towards your goals. This brings us to our next step, which is to let your creative juices flow, while of course going to God for the guidance that you need while you are in the deepest depths of your creativity. Now that you have mastered the skill of communicating with God, use the gift of wisdom that He has blessed you with. He didn't give us wisdom for no reason at all. And by the way, the thing that you need to understand about accepting God is that you also accept the gifts that comes along with Him, and one of those many gifts are wisdom. Don't be afraid to put your mind to it. God tries to help you to use your wisdom to make the right decisions. Don't think that it will always come with a spoon feeding. It's not magic over here. You have to do the work while you keep the faith. By the time you reach this level in your spiritual journey, you'll be confident in following the path which is placed right before your eyes, knowing that it's okay if you change your mind in the future and choose the path which is more in alignment with the person you would have become by then. It's okay to change your mind. The important thing is that you take action and eventually something will stick. Now, I must warn you that a spiritual journey isn't always smooth sailing. But the good thing is that I have given you the tips to have the strong foundation you need to overcome the darkness which will follow along the way. And of course, it's not something that you bargained for or even expected. So I'm warning you from now because it caught me off guard. I don't want to see that happening to you. So it would really be awful of me to tell you to pursue your spiritual journey and not tell you how to navigate that entire process. So look out for the next video where I will be going deeper into that topic, because you have to be aware of these things so that you can be successful and have as smooth a sailing of a spiritual journey as possible. And as soon as that video is posted, it will be placed right here. Until then, you can watch this video. Thank you for staying around till the very end. God's richest blessings to you and your family.